All right, welcome, gang. Here we are in our third week of our course, and this week we are moving on to our next mode of discourse, that being description. So in SCC, that is the corresponding part 3, chapter 2. Chapter 1 was narration, we're now on to description. So as of you all viewing this video here, we have our narrative essays in the can, in the Dropbox. And again, you could expect a 2-week turnaround max for submitted essays. So if I don't get to them this week, certainly by next week. And you'll notice that the grading on the essays is going to follow a rubric. It is it's not a rubric that I came up with myself, but it is a college degree level rubric that comes with Blackboard. The categories are content. So content meaning how well do you follow the assignment parameters. Basically, these are the general descriptions for each of the categories for the rubric. Content, then we have structure and organization. How well are your paragraphs structured? Do they have a logical flow and procession to them? Is each paragraph about something? Do they interrelate via the use of transitional words and phrases? Things like that. Style and language. This has to do with having your essay, as best you can, being largely error-free. Those pesky grammar mistakes. Are you writing in fragments? Now, I will say for a narrative, there might be a little leeway with the style and language part, because you're relating an event that actually happened. Say you have dialogue, for example. But when we talk to each other, we use colloquial words and phrases. We don't always adhere to strictures of academic parlance necessarily. So there might be a little freedom and latitude for you guys to be a little more colorful in this narrative. We shall see. But, doing your best to be to a T, dotting your I's, crossing your T's with grammar, spelling, being appropriate in the way that you relate events in your essay. And then the final category is format, okay? Basically, that means adhering to the MLA rules that we have in our paper format attachment. So your heading, okay, in the upper left-hand column, page numbers with your corresponding last name, or I should say last name with the corresponding page numbers for each. You have a title centered. You're not spacing down 500 spaces after the title to get to your introduction, let's say. So those are the broad categories there. Content, structure, organization, style and language, and format. That's 4 categories, each being a maximum of 25 points. 25 times 4 being 100. Okay, so you guys will receive your grades in a rubric in 2 weeks' time. Okay, and there'll be some highlighting. I will highlight and make marginal comments on your essays as well. So you should know why you got the grade that you got. Okay. But if you don't, if you have a question and you're confused, or you have something to dispute or anything like that, as long as you respectfully and civilly engage with me via email, I am more than happy to help you. Or maybe maybe I can be persuaded to give you a point or two back. But let's table that for a few weeks or 2 weeks' time. For now, on to our next section, description. So you have a couple of reader examples that are going to be due not by the end of next week, but by the Wednesday following. So in the next week, but that Wednesday, not the Sunday. So we're talking 1:30, okay? The reader questions are going to become open 1:23 this Wednesday, and then they will close the following week, that being the 30th. Okay. So that is the reader section of the assignments for this week. And then we have the SCC exercises. Those are available as of Monday, the 21st, and will be closed the following Sunday, the 27th. Okay. So for the SCC assignments this week, you have a week's time, beginning first thing Monday morning and ending Sunday night. And then for the reader, a week's time, but it begins Wednesday, the 23rd, and closes the following Wednesday, the 30th. Okay. So for description, we are more concerned, as you might expect, with colorful descriptive language. We're not so focused on relating a singular event as we are with the narrative, telling a story, although you can tell a story in a descriptive paper, but our focus here is a little different. We are focused on making the person, place, or thing come to life, okay? So have that in the back of your mind. It's never too early to think of a topic for your descriptive essay. Broadly speaking, it is going to be a person, place, or thing. So a person, your grandmother; a place, Rio de Janeiro; a thing, your Camelback water bottle. Okay, not the most riveting topic there, but you can describe your water bottle, okay, for an essay. So just have that in the back of your mind. Work on your exercises. Come to me, guys, with any questions on the narrative exercises in SCC, Part 3, Chapter 1 exercises. Some of you followed the directions a little better than others did. Please make sure that you are actually labeling the exercise that you're doing. It helps me read and everything's nice and neat and separated. Some of you guys look to have given me like fully composed essays for that first SCC assignment. So you might have done exercises 2 and 3 to some degree, but the way it was composed and formatted, it looked like an actual essay, and it left me a little confused. And I actually responded to a few of you in the Blackboard comments box. Hey, is this an essay, or is this our responses to the exercises? It's a little unclear and ambiguous. So please make sure we're being as clear and following the instructions to the letter as best we can. That goes the same with the reader discussion questions. Those are ones that I write. Those are in the little Word document attached to the assignment Dropbox that you guys did last week for George Orwell, Shooting an Elephant, and Bonnie Smith Yackle, My Mother Never Worked. Please follow those directions carefully and answer each part of the question. I usually have on there something like provide textual evidence. That means you actually have to cite a section, a phrase, a word, something to support your answer. Okay, some of you did that, some of you didn't. Okay, and when you are giving textual evidence, it's best to give a works cited page. Okay. Now, I'm not as much of a stickler for homework and classwork assignments with this because I know the source we're all reading from, the reader source containing the 2 essays. So I know what we're looking at. Okay. So I'm not as much of a stickler as to whether or not you give a works cited page, but for the essays themselves, narrative, descriptive, argument, persuasion, especially the argument and persuasion. We have a research version of that to round out the term. You absolutely must have works cited attached. So it's really good practice to get in that habit now, even with your class and homework assignments. So those of you who get hundreds on class and homework assignments are the ones who are giving me everything I ask for and maybe even giving a little more. There are a handful of young ladies in the class who just went above and beyond. I mean, they were thorough, contextualized answers, and I'm really appreciative of that. There may have been a few young men in that group as well. So if you're one of the few who got 100 and I maybe commented, hey, great submission, wonderful work, you are the models to follow. Okay, so you guys can tell the rest of your classmates, hey, This is the banner example right here. Maybe you could take a page out of my book, okay? So guys, A's, especially 100% A's, to me, that means perfect or darn near close to perfect, okay? So if you don't get 100 on something, ask yourself, well, this must indicate that my work was less than perfect, okay? Many things in life are less than perfect. Perfection is rather difficult to achieve. Some might say impossible, okay? So don't get discouraged and disheartened if you're not getting 100% on each and every assignment. That's not how this works, okay? So again, if you got an A, that means great to excellent. A B is good to great. A C is average. You've given the minimal work that was expected, the minimum amount of work expected. D, needs improvement, insufficient. And then an F, there's something catastrophic there, okay? A complete misread, a complete out in left field submission that is just inappropriate, or a 0, you didn't do it, okay? So if you're not doing your work, you're getting 0s. Duh, I guess. So just understand that. So quick recap before I conclude our announcement, and I know that we are probably not seeing this Monday as we had the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. So you guys might be seeing this later. I think I'm going to actually post this announcement in, or this video in the announcement that I will make available first thing Monday morning. So you guys can get a chance to look at it before meeting with Miss Evans. And then Miss Evans, if she so chooses, can watch this with all of you as a class together when you return from the holiday. But a quick recap, it is our SCC Part 3, Chapter 2, description. The exercises there, I believe there are a couple of exercises. Then the 2 reader examples with discussion questions. That is going to be open Wednesday, the 23rd, and will close the following Wednesday, the 30th. The SCC exercises are open Monday, the 21st, first thing in the morning, and will close Sunday, the 27th. Narrative essays are going to be turned around to you within 2 weeks' time. All of your other work is now in and graded. So you should have an indication of where you stand in the class. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns between now and next week's announcement and video, please do not hesitate to ask. So it's Championship Sunday. My New Orleans Saints are playing those awful Los Angeles Rams, so hopefully the good guys win, and by the time of viewing this video, there will have been one outcome or another. I will have been a happy boy or a rather disappointed boy, deciding whether I'll watch the Super Bowl or not. But in any way, maybe you guys will watch the games today and enjoy. Anyway, have a great week ahead, guys, and let me know if you need any help. Bye-bye.